dust is in my eyes, my blood is on the ground. Quiet little chuckle and the shuffling of the boots of the coward that shot me down. He turns toward the sunrise and I hear him softly say, I guess you've met your macho man, as the colors fade to gray.
Howdy, partners. Dust and Blood is a rabble-rousing, rootin'-tootin', bronco-bustin' podcast not suitable for the ears of youngins. Take a gander at the content warnings and listen with care.
Welcome to Dust and Blood, a narrative play podcast set in the wild, weird fantasy West. I'm Blake, your GM, and our players are Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, and Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Last time on Dust and Blood, the gang learned that Carter became a criminal defending farmers from Pinkertons. The group made a deal with Wesglen using Myra's memory as collateral. Avery snapped and the group shut him down, though not without trouble from Carter's cursed gun. We return to just outside of Wesglen's portal. Hodges is getting pulled behind Tumble.
Somebody get a tourniquet on Hodge.
Yeah, Hodges is still, as you're pulling, he's still bleeding from his face where he got blasted by his own gun. And he is just shouting obscenities as he's getting pulled. Y'all are gonna regret this, I swear by my horns, you are going to pay! You are all under arrest right now.
Don't worry, I already regret this. Don't you worry.
What the hell are you saying?
That's right, you can't
hear us. Carter, you see, he's just laughing his ass off.
Hey, this is not funny.
I beg to differ. I've seen...
No, this is not funny. We are royally screwed.
Oh, I know, that's why it's so funny.
Bonesaw, ostensibly the healer, doesn't seem super concerned about Avery, but his hands look sort of jittery and he keeps throwing glances over at Smokey's saddlebag. Are you sure I shouldn't just grab it out real quick? You know, I think it'll feel nice in my hand.
Let dogs lie if they're sleepers.
Carter says, well, I mean, if we're going to be sticking around here, you know, should we just get comfortable, or are we going to take the grass lady up on our offer to get the hell out of Dodge? Carter, I know you're behind this. What are you doing? What are you saying to them? Have they been in your gang all along? God damn it, I knew we shouldn't have trusted them.
I, for one, need a nap, because I've been up all night. So perhaps we leave first and then rest and see what we do about little Avery here. But here's the thing. So we can't just show up with Avery.
No, you cannot. That would be a very bad idea, as I'm pretty sure you would get every single Pinkerton in Perdition to be firing on you the instant you rode into town with him. Like this.
Could we keep him here? While we sort things out with the railroads?
Well, I don't know if he's in really good condition to travel.
Wesglen steps up beside and says, his blood would do a wonderful job for the plants in this area.
Oh, whoa. It's just alive, okay? Very much alive. Despite what you just saw, we actually don't want this guy dead.
Most of us.
I have a proposal. Why don't we shackle them together? I give it 50-50 odds that Carter and Avery try to escape and end up going on a marvelous buddy cop adventure. Lifelong enemies turned unlikely friends in the worst of circumstances. I'd watch that silent film. I don't know about you.
You do that and we're only going to have one prisoner by morning.
If you're going to keep me prisoner, will one of you at least stitch up my wounds? He's still losing a lot of blood, as you can see.
Okay. Bonesaw, you did shoot him, so...
Oh,
Maybe
does that
just-
make him my responsibility?
Yeah, but
No, not responsibility, but maybe show an olive branch, something of good nature, just to show that we're not.
Fine, but I'm not giving him one that's flavored nicely. He just has to drink it as is. I'll go ahead and enchant a cure moderate wounds. Bonesaw pulls out one of his little vials, and you see it start to glow as magic sort of spools off of him into it, and he shakes it up a little bit and hands it to Avery. As he does so, though, he just, tilts his head and sort of looks very intently, because Avery can't hear us. Drinky, drinky!
Avery pauses and says, "What, are you trying to poison me now? Just shoot me and be done with it."
might I suggest we spare some rope for his mouth?
He needs to drink it first, Mars. Then you can gag him. It seems to me he's resisting. Permission to, force it down?
Granted.
Well, let's see if we can communicate a little bit better here. I do have some paper, but I don't know if I have any writing implements. You got anything in that there wagon of yours? Figure you must have something.
Oh, certainly. Help yourself. Second drawer on the right, You'll see it. There's a little thing.
Why do you got a string of chicken heads in here? That makes no sense whatsoever.
It's actually very good for your liver.
This one's wearing spectacles. I want to know what's been going on in here.
I don't think you want to know.
Well,
Jasper.
probably not.
Don't touch my chicken heads.
Yes, sir. I am going to get out my treasured book.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to go to the back where there are probably a few leaves left over from where the signature did not match the number of pages required. And I will write healing potion, and I'm going to show it to Avery there.
Avery looks a little bit dubious as he reads it. He takes a deep breath and says, "Fine." And he takes the potion and he downs it. And Carter says, "I really don't want to... Will you at least give me a hand cleaning out my coat after he's done riding on me if we're going to be shackled together?"
Well, I think cleaning your coat is your own problem, but I don't know if we have yet decided whether or not you're going to be trusted to carry, Avery. It seems to me you folks have a lot of bad blood between you, and I ain't sure that's a good idea. I suggest we stretch Avery out here on top of the wagon, cover him with a couple of blankets, keep the sun off him.
Myra kind of gives a knowing look at Carter. She's kind of, is this the moment where I bail and I just let Carter go? That way this can all be over, and then Avery, the psycho, can just go chase after Carter again, and she can just kind of disappear into the woods. So she's actually not helping to shackle them up or anything. She's just kind of standing there, kind of looking at Carter.
Jasper's looking around here after having traveled with these folks for a few days. How would he adjudicate their relative strength of frame? Because somebody's going to need to help Avery up on top of their cart. I got a strength of 12. I could do it, but it'd be a lot easier with 2, and I'm not sure who to ask.
Roll me a just straight up perception check.
24.
Okay. You feel like you get a pretty accurate read on your fellow people, and honestly, Bonesaw's probably the only one who has a modicum of strength above your own. Everybody else seems to be pretty much on your level.
Looks can be deceiving.
Wesglen does look like she probably has a bit of strength, if you want to ask her.
All right, I'm going to need a little bit of help to manhandle Avery up onto the top of the wagon. Somebody want to give me a hand? I'll leave it up to whoever volunteers.
Oh, I have a thought. Would you be willing to drink something mysterious and exciting?
No.
That sounds like the sort of thing that was the last thing I remember was somebody asked me. So, no, I think I'd rather just try and do it up natural like.
Oh, very well. No fun. I can help drag him up.
I will write below the message that I last sent to Avery. You will ride on top of cart.
Fine. I guess I don't have much choice.
Is there a way to fix his eardrums?
You're pretty sure that, his eardrums are burst. It would probably take lesser restoration at this point.
Okay.
Bonesaw will pull out a pair of manacles to use for Avery.
I am not going to manacle him. If somebody else wants to manacle him, I won't protest, but Jasper does not look inclined to do that.
Myra can do that. I think she's the least... Well, it's not saying much, but the least... Well, no, because she shot at. Fuck it, she's gonna go manacle him. Myra walks up to Bonesaw and says, I'll get that for you.
Good to be prepared.
She goes and takes the manacles over to Avery, and so she tries to mouth it out like, handcuffs, you, please.
He holds out his hands, and as he does, he turns his hands up and flips you off.
Myra goes, you know what? That's okay. I understand.
Such a rude gesture, Avery. I would figure that you would have a bit more decorum with your captors.
He still can't hear you.
Oh, well. I know. All of these good barbs wasted on nothing. It's a shame.
Maybe I should heal him.
Avery spits out a glob of blood and says, all right, let's go if we're going to go.
I turn to Wesglen and say, well, ma'am, it'd be a might neighborly moment of you to take you up on your offer here to guide us out of this here place and on to our path.
You have brought quite a bit of distress to my little glen. I will be glad to be rid of you.
I look around at all the dead bodies.
She says, very well, follow me and follow close. The way out can be difficult for those who are not used to it. She begins to walk towards one of the trees, steps around the right side of it, like she's going to circle it, but as she circles, she does not come out the far side.
Well, I hope the cart fits.
I am not sure I quite understand what's going on, but let's take a little sidestep there and see if we can do-si-do around that tree.
How about that?
Smokey, come on, girl.
You all follow her going around the right side, and as soon as you turn and go left, you see her standing there as if you should have been able to see her from the other side, and you understand, oh, this close to a First World portal, things are probably a little bit tricky. You're not technically on First World itself. It's kind of like if First World is a house, you're on the pathway that's technically the city easement, but it's neither the material plane nor First World itself. You guys follow her for, it seems like several hours. A lot of this kind of, go very specifically to the left side of the third rock and all of this, until all of a sudden you guys find yourselves stepping out from this large plain that you've been on, and you're suddenly back in that kind of low scrub area of New Mexico.
Oh, thank God that's over.
As you look around, you see Wesglen standing. She hasn't left the desert plains area, and she says, remember your obligation to me. I expect you to do everything within your power to stop those iron rails from coming through. And she holds up the silvery thread that she took from you, Myra. And she gives it just a little bit of a tug, and you feel something in your brain start to... If you feel stuff slipping away, you're not sure entirely what it is, but you can feel that she clearly has some sort of pull on you.
Oh, shit. I think I gave up more than what I actually gave up.
How do we find you again?
She looks at you and moves her fingers in this motion, and a small coin appears in her hand, and she tosses it to you, Bonesaw.
I think he passes it to Myra. It's your memory.
She takes it.
It's an old stamped coin, ancient. It has this withered face of an old woman on one side, hair kind of pulled back and balding slightly, a long, pointed nose. And she says, come find me there when you have completed your task, and I shall return what belongs to you. She sinks into the grass and disappears.
Well, people come and go so quickly around here.
Oh, I thought you'd never leave.
Make a will save. No.
Damn it!
You see a couple of tall cactuses in this area. You see the mountains off to your side. It is almost dark at this point. Like, the sun is on the horizon. The mountains are just about the only things that are left bright right now.
You folks reckon we're out of the wild magic area?
One way to find out.
Somebody give me a perception check.
24.
From what you can tell and from your experience, you are fairly certain that you are no longer in the wild magic zone. When you went out of the area that was being affected by Wesglen's magic, it ceased to be a wild magic zone, so you're probably safe here. Another thing that you notice because you rolled so high, give me a survival check in addition to the perception check.
19.
You actually realize as you're looking at the topography that the giant plain that you just crossed that took you a day and a half to go across, it should not have been that big based on your location and where you started. You realize that there was definitely some shenanigans with the distance. You are not nearly as far along as you might have. If you had not encountered this, you probably would have been only about a half a day's ride from where you entered the area.
Well, folks, I don't think we've gone nearly as far as we've traveled, if you catch my meaning.
Oh.
I'm estimating we still have a good chunk of time before we make perdition.
Maz, give me a sleight of hand check and a stealth check.
Okay.
And then everybody else give me perception checks.
What you doing, Maz?
With a stealth of 17, everybody sees Maz standing very close to Smokey through all of this. However, only Bonesaw sees Maz's hand sneaking into the saddlebag that contains the gun.
I'm going to assume that Smokey would have kept him from putting his little ratty hands in there.
Smokey had the defend action.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Technically, I can order her to defend a character.
I think because you've taught her both defend and guard, I will allow her to have done that. Have Smokey do a perception check.
Alrighty, perception. Ooh, yeah. Nice.
Smokey's enjoying the grass.
But Bonesaw sees it.
Yeah, Bonesaw, you definitely see Maz holding your gun.
Bonesaw stalks over to Maz, and he looms his full 7 feet over Maz's, what are you, 4 feet?
4 foot. Exactly.
You're 7 feet tall?
Maz,
Very nearly.
make a will save for me.
Will do.
Get into a fight with a fella like that, you'd have to leave a bookmark to know where to come back to.
There we go.
Maz, you feel your finger twitch towards that trigger. This is your gun. Obviously, it's your gun. Why would Bonesaw try and take this from you? But something whispers in the back of your head and says, "You belong to me." And you don't pull the trigger.
Now, Maz, we've been friends for a while now, so I will give you a chance to hand the gun to me. Before things need to get nasty.
You've proven you're unable to handle this kind of weapon.
I can handle any kind of weapon I want to handle, Maz.
That's exactly why it cannot be in your possession.
At this point, everybody can see that Maz is holding it after Bonesaw called it out.
Well, now calm down, calm down.
Myra's gonna have the gun not pointed at anybody, but she's definitely gonna have it ready, and she's gonna say, Maz, you need to put that gun back where it was. That saddlebag was the safest place for that gun.
The safest place for this gun is in my hands.
I really don't believe
None
you.
of y'all are capable of handling this kind of firepower. Smokey especially.
Smokey isn't gonna use it.
Myra, I think it would be safe in my hands. Safest in my hands.
What the tarnation has gotten into both of you? Seriously, we need to burn this gun. We need to chuck this gun into a canyon and then never come back.
Don't you dare.
Maz, just put it back.
Maz is going to holster the pistol, and he's going to pull out his fiddle and very slowly begin to play a little tune. You all hear this screeching of metal and these terrible, terrible sounds of clashing and violence, and he's going to cast Visions of Hell.
Oh my god.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
The only fire in this here place is in my hands. I'm the only one capable of handling this.
Maz, why do you say that?
Those who walk the path of the damned cannot control themselves.
The path of the damned.
You think I'm on the path of the damned?
Well, then what are you then, Maz?
Everybody make a will save.
All right. Oh, that was Smokey. Smokey is not fooled for a moment.
She's a smart girl.
Yeah, Smokey's still eating the now hell grass.
Meh, hell.
You all look at this hellish landscape that arises from Moz, and it takes you a few blinks, but you all realize, oh, no, this is just an illusion. Carter looks nonplussed by all this. Hodges looks fucking terrified.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
He jumps off of the wagon, and he starts running.
Damn it. Myra starts running after Hodge.
Can I send Goiter after him?
Oh, God. What's y'all's speed?
Actually, not that fast. It is 20.
He is keeping a pace with you. What's Goiter's fly speed? Oh, he has 40 feet of fly speed.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be able to catch up to Hodges.
Can I quickly enchant him with... I don't want to kill him!
You are not going to kill him.
Incapacitate, paralyze.
Inflict moderate wounds.
Oh, man. You literally undo.
Yeah, so a little pudgy, fleshy, sparsely feathered creature crawls out from under Bonesaw's bandana, glowing an eerie sort of green, and takes to the air with a little flop, 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 flop to go after Avery.
When Myra sees Goiter, she just stops and she's getting out of the way of whatever this is. She's like, you got it.
Jehoshaphat, what the Sam
this
Hill
is
is
yours.
that? I've never seen Goiter.
Yep. Only Hodges has it, and he's being chased.
Moz has.
Oh, yeah, Moz has.
Ma's seen a lot worse than Goiter.
I would call after him to warn him, but with the ears, he's just going to have to bleed for it.
You all hear this thing making a... as it smacks into Hodges, and you see wounds just open up all over Hodges, just doing exactly the amount of damage that he was just healed for previously. He is now on the ground, just laying there. He is shaken. He's about 50 feet away, but he is not moving at the moment. The little flesh thing is just sitting on him, kind of popping all over him.
We'll deal with you in a moment, Avery. Goiter, just keep an eye, please.
Myra turns around and she goes, who the fuck are you people?
Why, Bonesaw, didn't I say?
What is that? What is that?
Seems to me that you folk are several folk who are in way over your heads.
Yeah, no shit.
I can't say I can really count on you to provide any help there either.
And Moz, what the hell? What's going on with you?
The only thing you should be concerned about is the gun is in its proper place.
Why are you the proper place? Give me some context, pal.
I'm the only one capable of controlling it.
Through what means?
This gun was intended for the best fiddle player there is, and you're looking right at him.
Was that one of the conditions?
I didn't see any instruction manual that came with that gun that gave that condition. Moz, you want to just, take a step back and think about what you're doing real hard? Think about what happened to the last couple people who picked up that gun. It did not go well for them.
I've never felt more clear-headed in my life, Jasper. And as you can tell, I haven't shot anyone yet.
Yeah, well, I would like to point out that it is impossible to play a fiddle with a gun in your hand. I challenge you to a musical duel right now.
Oh, fuck.
Called out.
And I pull out my harmonica and I shake the dust out of it.
Bring it on, old man.
Come on, son, you got the stones?
I was waiting for this to
It
de-escalate.
keeps escalating.
It's not
Not
de-escalating, but it is veering off suddenly to the left.
Can everybody please deafen, except for Zach?
Okay.
You hear a whisper from the sheriff when you get this challenge. Yes! Finally, a worthy adversary. Bet him something valuable against this gun. Take something from him and win, or else suffer.
Jasper, I accept your challenge under one condition. You must put forth something of equal value.
To a cursed gun? Give you a bucket of spit.
No deal.
Yeah, I thought as much. I guess I am now king of the fiddlers and bards and people what play musical instruments. Around the mountain run, boys, run. Gonna give him a little sidelong glance, see if I'm needling him right.
This gun simply can't be handed off. It must be earned.
That's kind of funny, seeing as how you stole it from a horse's saddlebag where I put it for safekeeping, it being mine and all.
Believe me, Bones, I've paid my due.
That's such a badass line.
Well, I don't think we're gonna be here moving from this here spot till we resolve this situation. So, Maz, are you planning on just walking along from here, or what?
I disagree. I'm getting on my horse and I'm heading north. You're free to follow.
I suppose I can bide my time.
I don't know if this is going to work. I don't think you paid any dues. As a matter of fact, you said that had to go to the best fiddler. I don't see any fiddling coming from you.
There's been an altercation to the deal. My companion and I have decided that if I win this here battle, I keep the gun. If I lose, I'll give you some of my fireballs from this here necklace.
Now, when you say give, are you talking about delivering them in a hostile fashion?
They're all yours.
I don't think that's gonna work, and I don't think I want you wandering around with that there devil piece in your hand, which could be pointing at any one of us at any time. Now, as far as I can tell, gun can only shoot one person at a time. There's a lot more of us. Son, do you want to escalate this?
That depends. You prepared to lose?
You see Carter is slowly backing away from this whole thing.
Don't you leave me now. Don't you dare leave me now.
Don't make me set goiter on you.
I just wanted to make sure I was getting the best possible view for this. Yes, I'll just stay right here, shall I?
I've had a thought. Mars is clearly cursed, unlike me, who is completely logical in thinking that I'm the best person for the gun. It's probably the same thing Avery had, which I never got. Bonesaw goes and rummages in the cart for a minute, and he pulls out a little recipe box. It's got like little yellow chickens on the side. It's very domestic looking. And he flips it open and starts going through the little cards. So here's the thing. These cards are, for the most part, my mum's recipes, which I trust, but this one in particular I picked up from my Uncle Artie's dodgy friend, Mr. Whiskers, and I've never tried it before.
Get to the point, Bones!
But I do have, and he pulls out the card that he's found, he says, I do have a recipe for Remove Curse, which we could use to cure Mars with, and possibly Avery if he's still suffering.
And you, right?
No, not me. As we've established, I have not been cursed.
You assume a piece of paper with your mother's handwriting on it can wash away all the pain and suffering I've endured?
You know what? Myra is very tired. And she is done with today. She is done with this bullshit. And she's gonna say, you know what? Fine. hang on to the gun, but we're gonna sit and you're gonna talk and you're gonna tell us why you deserve this gun. You better have a goddamn good reason to be hanging on to that gun. And we're gonna sit and you're gonna talk, and then we're done. We're going the fuck to sleep. Understood?
I do not feel inclined to inform y'all about my past.
It's the gun or the info, pal.
And that's the case, I'll head off on my lonesome. Tumble, we're leaving.
Come on, Moz. Don't leave. You've been the best person I've found for my act in the last 2 years. No one sticks around, please. Don't.
That's a low bar, and you know it, Bones.
Moz, think of all the fun times we've had. Remember the wedding? Remember all those people we accidentally burned when we exploded those barrels? Wasn't that a barrel of laughs? Come on, Moz, don't just leave.
You took my toothbrush, and that was unforgivable.
You thought it was funny. I know you did.
Goodbye, Bones.
Moz.
I'll see you in the next one.
Carter speaks up from the back and says, "Is this about the time that I tell him that I was making up the entire story about getting this from the fiddle player?"
Now would be a good time to do that.
Yes, Moz, I was making all of that up.
Really?
Yes, I was.
Can I do a sense motive check?
Yeah, you can. He says, "Honestly, I was hoping that you would take it and shoot Hodges for me. It turned out that Bonesaw did it for me, but what can I say?" Moz, from what you can tell, Carter appears to be telling the truth.
Fantastic. By any stretch, it's mine now. End of story.
Maybe we could share it, like it's a little bit yours, a little bit mine.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Bones. Would you like a bullet? He pulls the gun out of his holster and aims it at Bones.
Pulled my gun out of my holster and aim it at Moz.
All right. Stop it! No more shooting! No more guns!
Moz puts the gun away.
Stop it! Just let him have it for now, and God, if he tries to kill us, we'll just fucking kill him, and we're all gonna die anyway. Jesus Christ. What the fuck was today? I don't care. I'm going to sleep. And so she unrolls her sleeping bag and just gets
Look
on the
at
floor.
Moz and say, "Now look what you done."
I'd say today was quite successful.
Bonesaw is thoroughly intimidated by exhausted Myra.
You're next to a little bit of a creek that's running down towards the Rio Grande. Myra is just, boom, asleep pretty much instantly. The rest of you, do you take the time to set up camp?
I'll pitch my little tent. Away from everyone else, considerably.
Bonesaw sleeps in the wagon, so...
I'll make sure that our prisoners have whatever they need in terms of not freezing to death overnight.
Yeah, is Avery alive?
Avery's alive. He just looks beaten and battered. His face is just one big bruise. Goiter is still happily flopping on him.
He's had a day.
Bonesaw goes over and scoops up Goiter in both hands, and he says, "Who's a good little Goiter?" Now, Goiter, I have a very special mission for you. I think you should go and just crawl into Moz's tent and have a word with the sheriff. Have a little play date. Find out what's going on with him. He's so moody today. I don't know. What's wrong? Also, see if the gun is in there.
While you're at it.
Thank you, dear.
I only need to sleep 2 hours a night via a magic ring I have, so the chances of Goiter coming in and interrupting me at a time I'm awake is difficult.
Yeah, I don't think Bonesaw even intends it as a surprise. He just knows that Goiter and the sheriff like to hang out sometimes, so he's like, if Maz won't talk to me, maybe the sheriff will talk to Goiter.
Okay.
You can always kick Goiter out if you really want to.
Jasper's not going to go to sleep yet, so he'll volunteer for first watch.
Bonesaw kind of wants to take the watch with Jasper, if that's cool.
Sure. Jasper's just kind of sitting with his back up against a rock. He has not built a fire or anything like that. And he's just keeping an eye on the encampment, glancing back and forth, waiting for an explosion to happen.
Interesting day.
Well, that is a truism and no doubt. Pull up a patch of dirt. Maybe we should have a bit of a palaver.
I really liked those beans you made the other day. Bonesaw pulls out his last trail rations and looks at them and then puts them away for now.
Yeah, it seems like everybody went to bed without supper. That's going to make for some cranky folk in the morning. Maybe I should get up a little early and see if I can cook up a mess of bacon.
Are you used to having kids? It seems like you're, good at managing people to some extent.
Well, a long time ago in another life, yeah. I sure did. It looks like he is trying desperately to remember something. Yes, I did. Albert, Emma, Edward, and the little one. God damn it. He pulls out his book. He thumbs through. Clara, little Clara.
Beautiful.
And of course, he looks up towards some vague part of the sky. Dear Petunia.
4 out of 5's not bad.
Shouldn't be that way, though. Shouldn't ought to be that way. He asked, you might have wondered about my refusal to give away a memory.
Oh, no.
That
bit I understand.
Yeah, I'm barely holding on to that one as it is.
Is it with Petunia?
Well, the whole lot of them, yeah. Yeah. And, as soon as I get my watch back, I might be able to remember what they look like. But that was a long time ago. I ain't got nothing but dust to shed. So that's the way that is.
That's hard.
How about yourself?
Oh.
You plainly weren't always like you are now, just like I ain't always I'm not like I always was.
Well, to be honest, it's a bit fuzzy.
You got folk?
My mum, my uncle, I think my father, although not since I was younger, he, prison, I think. I sort of glean what I can from the letters. I haven't actually told Mum yet.
You know this whole thing ain't gonna end well.
What, with my gun?
Well, that's part of it. This whole job from beginning to end has been one string of bad decisions after another. And I cannot see it resolving in any fashion to anybody's liking. And I would not blame anybody for just getting up and walking away. But for myself, I made a bargain. And I intend to see it through. I'm going to get that fellow to perdition. And I am going to testify as to what I have witnessed. I ain't too sure about his guilt, seeing as what that piece does to folk.
Well, to be honest, I just enjoy traveling with this large of a group. It's been a long time. Most people don't really hang around after they get to know me.
Does get lonesome out on the trail, that is for sure. But surely you must get around and see a lot of folk in your traveling show here.
Oh, loads, dozens, all the time. Sometimes they even want me to stay a few days. The other half mostly run me out of town.
Oh, it's hard.
It's pretty good odds, I think.
Yeah, well, it ain't easy. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to be getting some sleep here pretty soon because I'm going to be waking up early and seeing if I can stave off more chaos in the morning with a plate of victuals. You okay for watch, or you want to wake someone else?
I think I'll be up a bit.
All right.
Go easy on Mars. I don't know exactly what's going on with him, but it's very unlike him to conjure hellscapes and the like, so...
Well, I can't rightly blame no one who's held on to that thing. It don't seem to do no one no good. And that's a reason why I did not pull my trigger when things were getting mighty hot. But all right, you keep an eye out on folks and try not to get into trouble, will you?
No promises on that account.
And Jasper is going to lie down flat and stop breathing.
Bonesaw, give me a perception check.
19.
It's quiet for most of the night, for the rest of your watch. Until all of a sudden, right when you're about to go wake up the next person from their shift, it's almost midnight. You see somebody walking down the river. They're kicking the dirt a little bit. Appears to be a guy in a little bit of a flopped hat, some tattered clothes, boots. He has a rifle kind of slung over his shoulder, pickaxe at his side, and he's munching on something, looks like an apple. Just...
Wake people up or confront him myself?
The guy approaches, and he says, "Look at what we got here.
Uh-oh.
A whole mess of people just resting here by river all on the lonesome. And is that why it is? If it ain't the famous Carter Sutton
Shoot him. Shoot him.
sitting around, all ripe for the taking, after he's done so much."
Wake up! Bandits! Bandits!
He says, "Ma! Pa! Sissy! Get in here.
Uh-oh.
We have some people to have some fun with."
It's the Brady gang.
And with that, I need everybody to roll me some initiative.
Oh, I am ready to pound some people. It has been 3 sessions without, significant combat.
Maz has a new toy!
I am alert to sounds while I am sleeping,
Oh,
due to my signature skill.
give me a perception check then. You are immediately awake. You are aware of their presence, and they're not going to get a surprise round because of it. You are able to shout off a warning. You are still in your bed. Myra and Maz, give me a perception check -10. Actually, at this point, Maz, you're actually awake.
Okay.
So, Myra, you're the only one who's out.
She is out. She's done. She's so tired.
I want y'all to know the reason Bonesaw hesitated so long was not just because I wanted to give Blake a chance to say everything. It was because Bonesaw didn't want to wake up Myra after seeing how shitty she was before bed. He's cutting his eyes back and forth.
What's scarier, Myra or bandits?
A wise choice.
Bonesaw, I could probably take out the bandits, but Myra, I don't know, man.
Myra, you are still asleep for right
Damn
now.
it.
Maz, you're up
Yes.
first.
I do not know anything about this gun that I got.
The biggest thing you need to know for your roll is that it'll be a +1 to your attack and your damage. Until you identify the properties of it, you won't know what it does or how to activate it.
Okay, I have a movement speed of 20 feet. Guess I'll go here, and I will try and take a shot at whoever that is who approached.
At this point, you're able to see as he tosses the apple that he was carrying that it appears to be a human heart.
Oh
Whoa.
my god!
Okay.
His entire cheek is ripped apart, and he is missing an eye.
Nice.
Badass Blake.
It is dark, but there is a fire burning. you take your shot at this guy, and you see another one of the people who was standing in the back. The apparent Sissy has very stringy hair, pale skin, missing a nose, another scar on the other side. She yells out, "Jack, get your ass back here. I'm gonna shoot these fuckers." You shoot this guy, it wings, and you see it just sink into his side. He takes his thumb, digs into the wound, and just pops the bullet out. "Nice try, buddy. But that's not gonna work here."
Okay.
Myra, make a perception check. You've been asleep long enough to remove the fatigue.
Let's see if I can join the fight.
13, that's enough with a gunshot, especially this pistol that seems to be much louder. You start awake to the sound of gunfire. You are able to join the fight.
All right, that's it. I'm killing Maz. I'm doing it. I'm killing Maz. She opens up the tent and realizes that, oh shit, there's people here, and so she gets ready for combat.
Hold off on Mars just for a moment, Myra. We have some other people to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
We'll circle back to that later.
You stand up, and you're able to get out of the tent. Carter starts awake at all of this and says, "Oh, God's above, it's the Bonesaw gang."
Gonna go right there next to Avery, and she's gonna pop off a shot at this lovely looking dude, Jack.
As you click it and it fires, it strikes him in the side, and he just kind of pulls out the bullet. It's definitely hurting him, like it's taking away chunks of flesh, but he's definitely trying to no-sell it as much as possible. The woman that apparently is Sissy Jangles shuffles forward and says, "Dang it, Jack, always having to save your ass." She takes her two fingers, points one at Bonesaw, one at Myra, and fires off two beams fire launching straight at you guys.
Oh, jeez.
What's your touch AC, not including amulets of bullet protection?
Darn it, 12.
15.
Okay, these two flaming shots, one wings and just singes the edge of your hat, Bonesaw, and it blasts past you, Myra, and over Carter's shoulder and says, "God damn it. Why can't she be a better shot?
Oh, are we going to play?
Do y'all mind killing these folk for me? I don't care to die at their hands." You see this very tall-looking fella wearing a hat that's too big for his head, falling down. He's carrying a shovel with him, just a flat-out shovel, a green light glowing from inside his fully skeletal chest. He does not look like he is exactly altogether there. He growls out.
Fella's talented with his voice there.
He's gonna rush right around here. And as he comes up to you, Bonesaw, he takes his shovel and slams it down on you. What's your normal AC?
16.
You manage to barely get out of the way as it slams into the ground, just digging a nice big divot.
Oh, I know my way around shovels, sir.
Jack says, "Pa, God darn it, why'd you gotta rush right up in there? You're gonna get in the fire line." Hodges is asleep and deaf, so there's literally nothing.
Thank goodness we don't have to deal with him trying to run right now, though.
Jasper, you're up.
Alrighty. Jasper's gonna take one step, peek out the tent, and say, "Good thing you started digging that hole there. Saves us a whole lot of trouble later on." And I'm going to pull both my irons and let loose on him. Now, I've got normal bullets in the left hand, and I have got a variety of bullets in the right hand, which are probably set to silver.
You'll only be able to take one attack because you had to get up from laying down.
Okie dokie.
And as you're coming out, Paw Jangles swings his shovel around and is going to try and hit you. It knocks into the tent and starts to knock it down, but it misses. You are able to take a shot. Are you shooting him?
Yes, I was going to shoot Jack, but now I've got this guy right in front of me, presenting a clear and present threat.
The bullet just straight through his ribs. Doesn't even slow down. Misses him completely.
Well, that ain't no good.
Carter is like, "God's above. You know, if I had a weapon, I might actually be useful to all y'all folk. I could actually show you how to use that there gun of yours. Mods do."
It's my gun! Why do people keep saying that?
Pal, you got hooves, use them.
I'm a bit fettered at the moment.
Oh, he's hobbled, I forgot.
Yeah, he's hobbled. He's not going anywhere.
You've been plenty helpful to us getting us in this mess. Now sit tight and be quiet.
Yes, sir. Jack is up. He has his rifle up and he says, "Let me show you how an expert does this." And he points at Moz, at Bonesaw, and then one at Jasper. Jasper, you have soft cover.
What, my bulletproof tent?
From paw jangles. Turns out that even though he's all bones, he's still soft. Ooh, that's gonna hit everybody. I need Moz to take 11 points, Jasper to take 10 points,
Yikes.
and Bonesaw to take 16 points of damage.
Ah! That stings!
Bonesaw, you're up.
Okay. I think it'll provoke an attack of opportunity, but Bonesaw is going to pull out his massive +1 furious hogsplitter, twirl it around once, and say, "When you get a chance, if you could just point out your widow to me so I know who to charge for the coffin."
Boom! He smacks you right in the stomach with this spade. Take 7 points of damage and make a fortitude save for me.
Oh no.
That's rude.
He was in the middle of a cool thing.
17.
It seems like some of the moss that is constantly growing on this thing gets stuck in the wound, but you quickly brush it off and you feel fine.
Oh, I'm definitely putting you on the wrong side of the grass now.
You slash into him. It looks like it hurt him a little bit.
Skeleton's probably not slashing the best way to go.
I will say, they seem more articulated than your average skeleton. They might have just lost their zombiness, as it were.
Okay.
Then you see, at the very back of all of this, with a what appears to be a pickaxe and a broken bottle, who's apparently Myra. You're about to get stabbed. Ma comes running around the tent, just and stabs you. Takes 6 points of damage.
Ah, shit, lady!
Moz, you see Sissy Jangles pulls out this small little bone fetish and says,
A what?
It's not.
Little,
It's not what you think it is.
it's like a puppet.
Okay, puppet.
She's doing what? Sissy!
I realized that after I said
Buy me dinner first.
she starts twitching it and moving and breaking the bones on it.
Oh.
Make a fortitude save for me, please.
Do not look forward to failing this year's save.
Oh, yes. 15. You feel your bones start crunch as she makes you step forward towards the fire. You also take 20 points of damage.
Ow! Okay, that's not fun. Yeah, I'm looking rough. So I'm in the fire right now.
Yes.
I'm going to play a little eerie tune on my fiddle, and I am going to cast pyrotechnics, specifically in the smoke section. You all watch as the fire is extinguished, and these big old cloud of smoke starts filling the area. It's like 20 feet, but how about some cover?
Yes!
Nothing can see through this. We are all in total blind. All sight, even dark vision, is ineffective in it. Everyone takes -4 to strength and dexterity saves.
Awesome. Everybody in the circle, make a fortitude save. DC 16. That's a fail from Paul.
Oh, nat 20!
You stole all
Nice.
my numbers.
That is a success from Sissy. Y'all, this fucked people up by a lot. Wow. Okay, sorry. That was a good move.
Considering I'm about to die, is about the only play I had.
Paw Jangles can't see, but he's gonna try and split his attacks between Jasper and Bonesaw, alternating. Is it 50% for total concealment?
That's right.
50%, yeah. First attack against Bonesaw hits. Takes 7 points of damage as he slaps you in the face.
That is just ungentlemanly, sir!
Second attack against Jasper misses. Attack against Bonesaw hits. Take 4 more points of damage.
I am being unfairly targeted.
And then he's going to 5-foot step right there. Jack, not feeling too great, coughing up a storm, is going to step out and he's going to attempt a full round attack against Moz, who has full cover. You son of a bitch, I'm gonna beat your ass. Think you can pull off all that bullshit?
Kinda.
That is a miss on the first one. Moz, you feel it wing off the rocks at your feet. You're pretty sure you only missed because of the concealment. This is the one you really want to hope misses, because he crit.
Yike.
Moz, the bullet wings right towards your head. And as it's about to slam into you, you duck just imperceptibly enough, and it bounces and takes your hat off.
You son of a bitch, I just got that!
Well, it went right through my heart, but it hit my toothbrush. Thanks, Bonesaw.
You see Carter stand up, and he is going to start walking away with his fettered feet, as it were. Jasper, your turn.
All right, how hard is it to get out of the back of this tent?
It's nothing. You just need to move out the
All
back.
right, that's just going to get me out of the darkness quicker. 1, 2, 3. All right, I don't think I can see any enemies from here, correct?
I don't believe so, no. Jack and Paul both would have total concealment.
All right, well, then I'm going to make my way. I did see Sissy, and I know that she's a spellcaster from the stuff she was doing. So
Yes.
I'm going to make my way off that direction. And I'm going to move one more to get a little more out in the open. I'm going to say, Smokey, come here, girl. I'll mount up. So I'm going to ride Smokey around because I want to be able to see Sissy Pants.
Yeah, you'll be able to get to the other side of right there.
Okay,
And you can see Sissy on the edge.
all right.
Now we're going to do Myra.
Okay, so she is right next to Majangle. She's not in the cloud stuff that's going on right about now. She is going to take out a big, nasty-looking sawed-off shotgun.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
what's weird about this sawed-off shotgun is that there's a bayonet sticking out of it. So, and she points it right at Majangles, and she goes, "Fire in the hole!" And fires off what she calls ugly. So, okay, thank God it actually rolled above a 10. It did not miss or fail or...
Misfire 1 through 9?
What?
Heck!
Yep, that's the... He said you can shoot a shotgun with a bayonet, but it's gonna have a very high misfire chance. And I said, okay.
Oh my god!
Why don't you just flip a coin?
Your first shot misses.
Ah,
Barely, but it misses.
She gets a little too excited.
Yeah, the bayonet fires out and actually, like, shoots past Majangles.
Shoots a bayonet?
Yeah,
It
there's
was
a bayonet.
sticking.
She has a
yeah.
gun that
Oh.
shoots bayonets?
I
it
thought
just-
it had a bayonet and was a shotgun.
It shoots bayonets
Whoa.
or it has a bayonet?
It had a bayonet that it shot.
Interesting.
So you can't shoot a gun while the bayonet is attached to it. And so we were talking about this. In order to use the bayonet, you can't shoot the gun. I was like, well, what if you shoot the gun while the bayonet's still in there? And he was like, I guess that could work.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for any harsh words I might have said to that lovely snake lady.
Oh my god, I can't believe this weapon
You know
exists.
what? This is such an insane thing. I'm gonna say it catches her flat-footed.
Okay.
That's
And it
fair.
hits her. It is going to hit
A
her.
rule of cool.
This is a
I'm for
surprising fucking weapon, and nobody in their right mind would do this.
So it's just a harpoon gun.
It strikes her, and she takes that full 12 points of damage. It looks brutal. And she just has this look of, what the fuck? On her skeletal face.
You're probably the first person ever to successfully bring a knife to a gunfight.
That's going in the notes.
A bit concerned about this, she is going to step away from you.
She's just gonna kick Avery and be like, "Get up, stupid!"
You sure him being awake's a good
Why are you
thing.
kicking me? Isn't it enough that you can't sleep and that I'm your prisoner?
He looks up from Myra's tail to see her holding the sawed-off shotgun, the firelight casting the shadow against her, and the tents and the smoke in all the air.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. You all see a green glow coming from behind the tent where Mojangles ran to. It's Hodges' turn. He is awake now, but he's unarmed, and he's manacled, and he's just going to start lambasting you, Myra. Bonesaw.
Bonesaw would like to move 15 feet to right here, and I'm going to roll a heal check to assess my companions and see if they are near death, because I'm trying to decide between healing and destruction.
Go ahead and roll a heal check.
14.
You can't see Moz at all, because he's in the middle of darkness.
Moz, are you badly hurt?
You could say that!
Okay. I believe that Myra's the only one who can see Bonesaw at this angle, but she watches as he emerges from the smoke cloud, and the lenses of his Plague Doctor mask, a green light begins to shine from them, and the mask itself almost seems to vibrate with potent energy as a blast of bright light shoots out in a 30-foot radius. Ooh. I am going to channel positive energy. I have to choose between healing and doing damage to undead creatures, and I'm going to heal. And I think I've caught everyone except Jasper, who is out of range.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt him anyway, because I have to choose between one or the other, but for flavor.
Does that hurt you, Gabby?
It does not hurt me.
That's nice.
It's really nice, yeah.
So, Bonesaw, you actually feel something different than any time you've used this before. You've never used this before in combat. When you do release this energy, Jack, who's standing next to you, winces and doubles over as if he just got hit. What? You hear Ma go hiss. Pa hisses.
It does both?
You feel something in you, this twisting, like two different things competing. You are neither healed nor hurt. But all of your allies are healed for the 7 points.
Oh my god!
And all of your enemies are hurt.
Oh my god! I didn't know you did that!
Do that spell again!
I am so happy right now! I positioned it perfectly too. Everyone's in the blast!
Except
from Jasper. Thank god!
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Talk about optimizing your turn.
Healing time! Mars, I'm healing you, so you have to stay, alright?
I'll consider it.
We're going to make up after this.
You owe me a toothbrush.
You owe me a gun.
We'll talk after.
Settle this later.
Sissy Jangles steps out of the dust, and she sees you, Jasper, and says, "Oh, wonderful. A little undead plaything." She holds out that same little puppet and starts twisting it around.
But what's that behind you?
Make a fortitude save for me, Jasper.
Alrighty.
DC is 16.
20.
Nice. You feel like something is wrapping around you and grabbing into your arms, but you shake it off and get ready for your next attack. Myra.
Da-da-da-da. Okay, now that the bayonet has been fired and it's off in the distance somewhere, she just now has a regular old sawed-off shotgun. And so she goes to chase Ma Jangles. She's like, "Don't you dare! Get back here!" And then she goes to shoot her.
Fuck yeah, 25 hits her. That does massive amount of damage to her. The ball bearings from this guy shoot, and it's just bouncing around her ribcage. One goes up into her skull through one eye and just shoots out the other side.
That's gotta hurt.
It does. Maz, you're up.
I assume I'd take penalties for trying to hit people outside of this?
Yes, they have total concealment from you.
What if I threw fireballs?
You could throw fireballs. You only have to hit like a DC 5, and it wouldn't suffer from concealment if you're not aiming for a specific person, if you're aiming for a spot.
Amazing. Okay. I don't like Sissy Jangles playing with bones over there. She made me walk into fire earlier, and I didn't quite appreciate it. I'm wondering how much I don't like her at the moment in the terms of how many D6s I want to put in this fireball. I kind of just want to throw the 10d6 fireball just to do it. It'll be expensive, but ooh, it'll feel good.
Shit.
I'm doing
There
it.
is a spot that you can throw it that can hit both Sissy
Yes.
and Jack
Oh my
and not hit
I'm doing
Bonesaw.
it. Yep. Batter up.
I don't mind being a bit singed if you need to.
Oh, I take that back. I do not have access to the 10d6 fireball. I have access to 9d6 fireballs, so 40 damage.
Only 40 damage.
A mere 40 damage.
You all see this skull just... Its screaming fireball go flying out of the darkness. It slams into the ground and just... boom, this detonation of fire. DC 14, reflex save to have. For Sissy and Jack. Sissy ducks and looks like she doesn't take as much of the damage. Jack, however, looks right fucked up as he takes the full brunt of this at his back.
Delightful.
More where that came from.
What pretty fireworks, Mars.
Tarnation.
Paw is up. Paw is not doing too hot down here in the middle, but I think he's going to stumble forward. I'm gonna have him make a perception check to see if he knows where you're at, Mons. Okay, yeah, he does. He's gonna go forward and he is going to take a swing at you with his spade. Once again, you still have total concealment. Oh, that misses anyway, so okay. He swings down and you hear a cling as metal strikes stone. Fuck, this darkness cloud really fucked them up. It's Jack's turn. He sees you with your little thing out there, Bonesaw, and he's going to take a 5-foot step back, and he is going to fully unload on you from nice point-blank range. Definitely hits your touch AC. First shot does 10 points of damage, the second shot goes wide, and the third shot does 7 points of damage.
Oh, just you wait, I'm coming for you.
Nah, my friend, you picked the wrong friends. No one's gonna be able to save you now. I'm going to enjoy eating your face out of that mask.
I have 3 hit points.
Carter takes another 10-foot steps away. Says, y'all look like you have this in hand. I'll be back in a little bit if you all survive. Jasper, you're up.
Don't make us come hunting for you. As for you, Missy, you should have hit the ground when you had the chance, because you're sure going to hit it soon. And I am going to fire both revolvers at her. One revolver has a regular bullet in it. The other one has a gray dust bullet.
Oh, shit.
Alrighty. Blammo. Alright, so it's a 21 and an 18.
Both of those hit.
Okay. Alright, so the first one was a 9-point bullet, and the second one was a 4-point halved to 2 gray dust revolver bullet.
Oh, shit. That first one hits her. That's definitely going to do some damage. And then the gray dust, it only does half damage, but takes minus 10 penalty on concentration checks to cast spells. Oh, shit. Yeah, that. Oh, she's screwed.
Cannot cast defensively.
Oh,
God,
shit.
I love those.
I did a thing.
Oh my
You
goodness.
did more than a thing. You
Did a real good thing.
Good shit.
Okay, Bonesaw.
Bonesaw, after taking these bullets, it kind of stumbles back and he's like clutching his chest and he's like, oh, you would almost think I was still alive the way I could feel these. Oh. I'm gonna pull out Cure Serious Wounds and chant it, and he lifts up the mask just a little bit to drink this roiling black liquid and regain 19 hit points.
Awesome.
I will 5-foot step into the smoke for now. Because it conceals me, right?
Toodaloo.
Yes. Myra, you see Ma Jangles comes lunging at you with this broken bottle and her pickaxe, and she is just vroom, 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 slashing at you. You, using your dexterous snake body, are just vroom, 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 getting out of the way, barely, of each one of these attacks. They all miss on you.
Sweet.
Hodges has stood up and he is charging towards Carter. You are getting away, you fucker. And he's just gonna body check Carter because his hands are tied.
Oh, I want to see that.
I'm gonna have him make just a straight CMB attack against Carter.
God, that's gonna
This
fail
is gonna
so
end badly
bad.
for him. He nat one. You all hear just a as Hodges slams his face into a horse.
Hodges' worst day ever.
By the way, there is a bayonet out there somewhere.
Oh no!
So,
Yeah, I think Avery found it for you.
oh, okay. He found it? Okay, good. Thanks, buddy.
Tonight, the part of Avery Hodges will be played by Will Wheaton.
Oh no. Oh. I'm sorry, Gabby.
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Take me down!
No. No. That's too, nice.
What?
Oh, I don't like the look of that cone.
Not tumble.
She has to make a concentration check to cast this
At a -10.
at a -10.
I'm going to yell out, do you inhale or exhale when you cast? Dang it!
She, like me, is not sure how to respond. You all see some fire gathering in her hand, and it looks like it fades for a second, and then it erupts forward in a 30-foot cone.
Oh, no!
I need Jasper, Smokey, Andrew, William Wallace, and Tumble to make reflex saves for me,
Not
please.
the ponies.
Going after the ponies? Bastard.
What a jerk.
That's against the code of the West.
DC 14.
Jasper got a nat 20!
I know, Smokey said we better dodge. Boss? Boss?
That is 5 points of damage to everyone, and some fire appears to be catching on the wagon.
I could care less about the horses, but if you destroy my home, I will follow you down to hell and rip you back!
Myra, you're up.
Okay. Myra's gonna continue just slugging it out with Mama Jangles. She's gonna do another sawed-off shotgun attack. Get down and stay down.
You have rapid reload, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You level your gun at her, and both barrels right in her gut just boom. She takes the full brunt of both of those shots.
She's gotta go down eventually.
She looks at you.
Ugh.
Boz, you're up.
I am going to cast Blistering Invective. Cast a spell, make an Intimidate check to demoralize each enemy within 30 feet of you. Enemies that are demoralized take 1d10 points of fire damage and must succeed a reflex saving throw or catch fire.
Shit. What's the DC on it?
16.
Okay. Fuck me. Why is it now? I just rolled 2 more nat 20s.
Dang.
Oh no!
There's still 4 enemies.
But fortunately for you guys, Ma fails and is going to take the full 6 points of damage.
And catch fire.
Did you make your intimidate check?
Intimidate. I think that's sufficient.
Fuck! That is a nat 20.
I'd say they're pretty well intimidated. Go back to hell, devil spawn.
As he says this, the darkness clears away for a second, and you see Moz. You see him short, but the fire that's glowing off of his fiddle, it casts a shadow up and behind, and it almost seems like there's a figure standing about 15 feet tall behind him, horned and laughing as he says this. Everybody takes damage and is fucking demoralized. I'm demoralized.
Holy shit, Moz.
I like this session.
Paw Jangles is gonna go ahead and make his attacks. He's going to 5-foot step towards you.
Towards Moss?
Towards Moz.
Death wish.
Was he intimidated?
Oh, he was very much intimidated.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not too happy. He just takes a -2 penalty on everything. They all take a -2 penalty on everything.
Bet.
For like 4 rounds.
I did not know that.
Yeah, demoralize is pretty fucking powerful when it pops off. Paw is having just about enough of you, and he swings forward with a hand, and he is going to strike you. And he doesn't hit you with his attack.
I'm loving this smoke.
He swings at you. He gets in this weird, hand position, and he brings his hands forward, coming from back like a single quick strike, but he misses. Jack is like, what the hell are y'all folk?
Well, if nothing else, we're a group you definitely shouldn't mess with.
Jack is gonna move away. He's going to take a shot at you, Bonesaw, again. You're his friend.
I'm in the smoke, so it's gonna be hard.
Yep, he misses.
Oh!
Doesn't matter what he rolls, he's gonna miss. Honestly, it's more as he's running away that he fires this shot up into the air.
Are you scared of my big friend there? Little Bojangles can't find me in the smoke.
Carter's gonna take another 5-foot step. Jasper, you're up. You see the cart is on fire behind you.
All right.
All of the horses except for Myra's horse are frightened right now.
All right. I'm looking down at Sissy Jangles and I say, shooting a horse is against the code of the West. And I'm going to unleash my revolver with one hand, a regular bullet with one hand, and an electric mage shot with the other.
Oh, shit.
Oh, they're probably both misses.
Yes. Wow. Ooh, those are low, though.
Yeah.
And you're taking a -2 penalty?
But she is on fire and -2 to do something.
Yeah.
Also, I think he has a +1 from point blank shot.
Yeah, so it's only a -1. The first one hits.
Okay.
The second one misses. Yeah, it slams into the ground. Bonesaw, you're up.
Jasper, you might want to get a bit out of the way. I'm about to show Sissy what it's like to be on fire.
Okay.
Actually, Smokey has her full movement. You also notice Sissy does not seem to have a melee weapon in her hand. She cannot make an attack of opportunity.
Smokey, clear out.
Bonesaw's going to move south diagonally 20 feet through this smoke cloud. And as he does, he's got this round little vial out, and he's kind of shaking it up, and it starts to glow brighter and brighter. And he says, I suppose fire is not exactly right. Acid, but it'll feel similar. And he just wings it right at her. 17 to hit, ranged versus touch.
Okay, roll 1d100 for me, please.
51?
That barely succeeds. It's above 50. You wing this at her, and it smacks into her shoulder, and as it does, the acid begins to spread, and her arm just falls to the ground. And she screams as the acid continues to spread across her body.
Yikes.
And she melts into a pile of flesh and sinew and acid. She is dead.
Teach you to keep your filthy, thieving hands off my cart.
Bye-bye, Sissy.
Yeah, we got one.
Sissy is dead. It's Ma's turn. Ma Jangles comes at you and hits you with the pickaxe. Comes in, stabs at you with the broken bottle. Hits. Takes 17 points of damage for those two, but she nat 1s on her attack, which means she stabs herself with the bottle as she's coming back and takes a fuck ton of damage from it because she rolled really good on damage on the last one.
I was like, crazy lady, just quit it. Yeah, I get it, but shut up.
Hodges is charging. He's holding up the bayonet that he found in his hands. He's charging at Carter again and jumps on his back and manages to succeed on getting up on Carter.
God, I hate when he does that.
As soon as he gets up, Carter just bucks out and Hodges, boom, back on the ground. And we're back around. Sissy is no longer there, so it's Myra.
Sawed-off shotgun. Boop.
13s across the board. Those both miss.
Okay. With the glass bottles sticking out of her tail, she's not aiming properly.
Maz, you're up.
Cool. I am gonna take a 5-step in that direction because I don't want this guy to be taking another swing at me. He's been quite rude to me these past few turns. And I am gonna say you should really pick on someone your own size and summon Diabolical Servitor.
Fuck.
I'm gonna just put him squarely in between me and him. He should only be there for about a round. It is a lawful evil outsider as a summon monster 2.
You all see, as Moz extends his hand, this pit in the ground begins to open up, and this roiling mass of flesh just... and it's going to charge forward. It acts on your turn, Moz.
Fantastic.
I assume you want it to attack?
Yes. Also, I misspoke earlier. I thought it was only going to be 1 round, but it is actually 1 minute.
Okay. It's going to launch into... Ooh, it nat 1s on its first attack. It technically gets 2, but its turn ends when it nat 1s. And it did damage to itself as well.
You're making me look bad here.
Pawjangles is going to 5-foot step around this guy. I think he's going to try and do the same thing that he did to you last time.
Okay.
Just a single strike at you, Moz. He has a -2. It strikes you right in the hip joint. And make a fortitude save for me, please.
Low.
That is not enough.
Yeah.
You only take 1 point of damage from this, but you feel your legs become very sluggish. You can now only move 5 feet per round.
Fantastic.
That also means that you cannot take 5-foot steps.
Shit.
Oh, Moz, roll fire damage
Right.
again.
8. Nice.
The only one that looks like they're doing pretty good is Pawjangles. It's Jack's turn. He looks over to the incinerated pile of Sissy. He looks at Pawjangles, who's not doing too good, and he says, yeah, fuck this. And he is going to bolt. He's going to take 1 wild shot at Carter as he runs.
Carter?
At Carter, yeah.
That was their whole goal, was to get Carter.
Yes. It misses Carter, because of course it does. Carter looks over and says, son, you gotta be a much better shot if you're gonna try and take me on. Hodges, get off me. Jasper, you're up.
I said, I don't think so. You ruined a good night's sleep. Hurt the horses. Go get them, Smokey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 50 feet of movement there. And then I'm going to unload twice on Jack there. And it will be the next one down that I have not fired. So this will be a regular bullet with the first attack and a flare bullet with the second. All right, so this is a -2, so that's a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
And a 17 to hit with the flare bullet.
Yes. Oh, shit. Yeah, it fires. Your first bullet strikes him in the meaty leg, and it just basically removes everything. It's just flesh now. How do you want to kill him with the flare?
The flare bullet hits him, and as he looks down and sees his chest on fire, he stumbles 5 feet away from the river and dies trying to reach the water.
Holy shit. He feels himself being consumed by this fire inside of him as the flare is just burning this white-hot phosphorus. And he is scrambling and reaching, and his arm, it is reaching, and it pops out of its socket, and the sinew at the shoulder just pulls away as he tries to reach. He gets 1 finger in the water. And that's it.
Cool, clear water.
Jack is dead. Bonesaw, you're up.
Bonesaw's gonna move 20 feet down to the south, right in between the cart and this little crick that's running by, and spend his turn trying to use the water to put out the fire on the cart.
Okay.
Do I need to roll anything?
No, you're spending your action to do
Okay.
it. It's definitely singed. It doesn't look like anything too bad.
Okay. All the explosives are fine. We're fine.
Ma Jangles doesn't look nearly as competently forthright thinking as her son. She's going to rush over here. That's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a miss. She slams the pickaxe into your tail to hold you in place as she just hits you twice with this broken bottle. Between the 3, take 23 points of damage.
Close. I'm very close. Hello. Oh, okay. I'm still kicking.
Hodges is on the ground. He's gonna go ahead and try to attack. 17 hits. He just cold cocks Carter this time with a fist. Just thunk. Carter kind of resets his jaw a little bit and says, "Really? That's what you got for me? Going to take you down, Carter." Myra, you're up.
Okay. Myra is not doing so hot, so she's actually going to 5-foot step, and then she is going to drink a healing potion. And she's gonna, yell over her shoulder to Hodge and be like, "Hodge, can you stop fooling around with Carter for 2 seconds and help me out with this?"
What?
Damn it! Damn it!
I am loving that you made Hodges deaf.
Son of a biscuit!
Maz, you're up. You are slowed to 5 feet, which means you cannot take a 5-foot step.
Okay, so the smoke clears, right?
Yes, the smoke clears. Roll your damage for fire.
7?
7. Yeah, Ma Jangles does not look good. She looks like bones are missing. Her tibia and fibia are missing from one leg each.
Damn. I seem to remember something about casting a spell defensively?
Yes, you can cast a spell defensively. You have to make a concentration check. The DC is 15 plus double the spell level.
Okay. I am trying to cast a first level spell, ear-piercing scream. So I have to beat a DC of 16 to cast that defensively?
Yes.
What happens if it fails?
Spell fizzles. They get an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So you get plus 11 to your
Oh,
roll.
plus 11. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so you have to roll a 5 or better, basically.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and try and cast that defensively.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay. 2.
You rolled a natural 2.
Yeah.
And you needed a 5.
Yeah.
Oh, he slashes into you.
Yeah.
I need you to make a DC 14 fortitude save.
Oof.
You take 5 points of damage,
Okay.
and your spell fizzles. But once again, this moss that is collected on the spade that he hits you with does not seem to do any damage.
Alright, and I believe my servitor still gets his 2 attacks without penalty since the smoke is gone.
Yes, the smoke is gone. It takes the strike, and one of these claws just rips apart. It actually takes like 5 of the ribs with it,
Ooh.
and the second one hits as well. He crit on his first attack against him, and he finally recovered from his -4 penalty, but he just took a -2 penalty from the card that I just drew for him,
Nice.
in addition to the damage.
How's Paul looking?
Still pretty hale and hearty. He is still above half health.
Wow. I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's his turn.
Send help.
He is going to make an attack on you. It strikes you. Take 8 points of damage and give me a fortitude save, please.
Love your fortitude saves tonight. That's a 10.
As it strikes you, just right in the face, you are staggered as this cracks you right in the face.
What does that do exactly?
You may take a single move action or standard action each round. You cannot take full round actions. You can still take swift and immediate actions.
Cool.
And then Paw Jangles is going to move all the way around. And he's going to take an attack of opportunity from Lemur. That hits. He takes 4 damage. Carter, he looks around. He sees the situation. He's just going to walk past Hodges towards the river.
Damn it. Carter, don't you dare.
Jasper, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take a move action to change the loadout in my pistol that normally has the extra special ammunition, because I don't think there's any point in using non-standard bullets right now. So that will be 2 regular bullet revolver shots at Paw. So that is a 21 to hit.
That hits.
And a 15 to hit.
15 misses.
All right, well, that's 8 points of bludgeoning and piercing.
You shoot him in the jaw and it takes out like 5 of his teeth.
I would like to have Smokey move, just so that he does not come gunning after me.
Okie doke. Bonesaw, you're up.
Bonesaw, after tamping down this fire, turns and sees Pa just like savaging Moz, and he says, "Don't touch my Mozzie!" And he's gonna... I can only go 20 feet. But I'm gonna move up next to Moz, not quite close enough to Pa, but I am going to drink my mutagen. As Bonesaw is traversing these 20 feet, he knocks back a mysterious vial that is a different shape from all of the other ones that he's had before. And as he walks over, his muscles start to swell inside of the baggy outfit that he's been wearing until the fabric is just straining, and he almost seems to gain a few inches and just turns into this hulk of a figure as he pulls out his hogsplitter again and swishes it around a few times, heading for paw.
Oh, shit.
Stern!
Keep your hands off my bossy! That's all I can do.
Ma Jangles is going to stagger forward and slash at you, Myra. Her bones are falling apart. She only hits you once with the pickaxe, takes 7 points of damage.
Okay, lady, you're falling apart. Just call it quits. Go find a nice pile of dirt and just go there.
It's racist.
Avery's trying to trip Carter. You see Carter actually stops, lets Avery get a hand on him, and then lifts his hind legs up and just boom, right on Hodges' feet.
Ouch!
Ouch.
Hodges is not having a good day.
Ouch.
Myra, you're up.
Okay, she's basically going to go around 5, 10, 15, 20, because she can't move very far. She's going to take out her repeating rifle, and she's going to hit Ma from a distance, and hopefully that will get her this time.
Okay. How do you want to finish her off?
Yeah!
Finally. Myra doubles back and she finally gets some distance, and then she pulls out her gun. She exhales, takes a shot. It goes through her head and it seems like it didn't do anything, and then she falls apart piece by piece as she's walking towards her, and Myra's like, thank frickin' mercy. Finally. Rest in pieces. Damn.
Fantastic. Moz, it's your turn.
If I remember correctly, I am staggered, I can move 5 feet, and I'm about to die. Did I miss anything?
Yes, your boots are wet.
Yes, you can either take a single move action or a standard action.
Right. So under normal circumstances, there's an action that exists to where I can disengage or something, right?
Correct. It's a full round action to withdraw, and you can't do those.
Fantastic. And if I try moving down one, I take an opportunity of attack?
Yes.
Great. If I try and cast Cure Wounds on myself, does that take an opportunity of attack as well?
Yes.
You could try to cast it defensively.
Fuck.
Your Lemur does not make its attacks, by the way.
Does not?
Or it makes its attacks, but they fail.
Oh, great. I was really hoping he would come in clutch. Bones!
Yes, boss?
I'm gonna need you to take care of me when I go down.
I'll take care of your
I
you.
promise I will! If you promise to stay.
What's the penalty for going underneath 0 hit points?
You have up until your total con score, so you've got a buffer there.
Right. I'm debating just dropping a fireball where I'm standing.
No, Mozzie, I didn't mean it. It's fine. I'll bring it back anyway.
No, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. All right, does throwing a fireball count as taking up to? Ah, shit. All right, I'm gonna just try and heal myself defensively.
Okay, go ahead and roll your concentration check.
Fucking hell. I hate this.
Hey.
And then we're just gonna cast Cure Light Wounds on myself for
6 points of healing. It's not much, but it's something.
it's something. I need y'all to lend a hand. I'm not okay.
I'm coming, slowly but surely. I have little legs.
Oh shit. He strikes you. First attack does 17, does 5 points of damage.
Oh.
Second attack is 11, it's a miss.
Oh, thank God.
Third attack is an 8 to hit, so it misses. The fourth attack is a dirty 20 to hit, and it does the maximum damage it can do of 9 points of damage.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Math.
What does that mean?
I am at 1 hit point.
He's at 1.
I'm at 1 hit point. I really am glad that I healed myself as a whole.
Yep.
Oh, kill him! Save me!
Carter is gonna move right over to where Jack Jangles fell.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
And he picks up the repeating rifle that Jack had, and he holds it. He just holds it for now.
I'm not in condition for another fight.
Jasper.
Oh, crap. Well, I was going to get Pa, but I say you should not have done that. Drop it or I drop you. And I guess that's an intimidate.
Go ahead and make an intimidate check.
Okay. It's my most awesomest skill. 12.
Unfortunately, Carter's not looking to intimidate, and he says, "Nah, I think we're going to have a nice, civilized talk when y'all have finished cleaning up here."
I think you're going to go down in a hail of bullets, son. Don't do this.
I'm looking a mite more hale and hearty than the rest of you. Drop your guns, buddy.
Ain't going to happen. Sorry about this. But I don't think I can shoot because I took an intimidate.
That is correct. Bonesaw, you're up.
Okay. Bonesaw, still taking his slow, steady zombie walk up to Pa Jangles, puts sort of a reassuring hand way down on Maz's shoulder and steps past him, swinging with his other hand with this giant hogsplitter to slice at Pa. It's 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
For 19
19 damage?
Yeah, you just absolutely obliterate him. He is not looking good after that. Like, he looks like he is on his last legs.
Man, I can't wait to get a second attack.
Oh, what'd you roll? 19 to hit, right?
It's okay, Mozzie. I'll take care of him now.
Hodges, now seeing Carter has a gun, turns towards Myra and holds out his hands like, "Give me a gun."
Shit. Shit.
Give me a goddamn gun.
You gave him a gun, that's two problems.
The God's damned gun is over there in Maz's hands.
Okay, so I would normally act, but Myra made an actual agreement with Carter that if he was going to make his escape, she wasn't going to necessarily try too hard to stop him. So she looks at Avery, and she looks at Carter, and she looks at Avery, and she puts a hand up to her ear, and she goes, "What?"
I can't hear you, you're deaf.
He glares at you, Myra, and says, "There'll be hell to pay, you snake in the grass." And he's gonna charge at Carter.
Oh, this won't end well.
No.
And he punches Carter in the gut. Carter says, "Really? That's what you've been reduced to." Myra, it's your turn. You have Pa Jangles, and you have Carter. He hasn't taken any hostile actions towards anyone yet, but he does have a gun.
Spare bullet down here would be appreciated.
Yeah, she's gonna turn around with her rifle, and she's gonna aim it at Pa Jangles, and she's gonna take a shot.
You rolled a 19.
Hey.
That's one above his AC.
Yay!
Your damage is 11. That's one above his hit points.
Yes.
How do you want
That's
to
what
do
the
this?
doctor ordered. Time's gonna slow down. She's gonna exhale, and she's gonna fire the bullet, and the bullet's gonna thread the needle between Maz and Bonesaw when it goes through him.
It blasts into him. The skull is just turned to dust.
Oh, do I get a grip point?
Yeah, you regain a grip point.
Hey, grip point.
Avery shouts, "Carter's got a gun, damn it!" And Carter's going to have his gun leveled at all of you. And he says, "Now we're gonna have a nice civil conversation, because the way I see it, y'all have three options right now. I am hale and hearty, having not taken any damage during that fight. We could shoot it out. You could maybe do some damage to me. I'll do some damage to you. Might even kill one of you. I don't want to do that. Option 2, you can let me go. I'll call off my gang. I will even do you the favor of taking this one," and he points down at Avery, "with me so he doesn't bother you again. You'll never have to worry about him. You could keep me locked in irons. We fight, we duke it out. You might take me down, and you release Avery. He loses his shit again. Arrests all of you, you come with me and hang beside me at Yuma Prison. If That is, assuming my gang doesn't catch up to you. You could ride into town with both Avery and me tied up. And if you somehow manage to get all of the Pinkertons to not shoot you on sight, you could get arrested and shot up when my gang comes into town to pull me out of the jail cell.
Is there a way... Ah, shit.
There is an option 4. As I recall, the bounty on you is dead or alive. Moz, what's the range on a fireball?
I believe that he's well within my reach.
My friend, let me give you another option.
Option 5. This night is just filled with choices.
See, that same train that's coming in to take me to Yuma Prison, it's also got the payroll for the Pinkertons. Come with me. We go into the town, rid that place of the Pinkerton plague, rob that train. You all take a cut. I go home free. Maybe, and he looks you dead in the eye, Jasper. Maybe I'd tell you something I heard about some people who had scorpion tattoos on the back of their hands.
That's bullshit.
Shit.
Don't kid a kidder.
Why should we listen to a word you said? Nothing coming out of your mouth has been truthful.
Yes, but you can always count on me being willing to do whatever it takes to escape.
Ain't that the truth?
I would much rather work with some fine, upstanding folk as yourselves, make sure we all get a payday. Frankly, I would love for us to go and rob that train.
Might I suggest an option 6?
My head hurts.
I think it's 6. Hold on just a second here. Yeah, it's 6. Go ahead.
What would you suggest?
Avery's still deaf, right?
Yes.
What if we did a little play acting? And we pretended to take you back as prisoner, and then turned you in, quote unquote, and got the reward, but then we sneakily helped spring you from the train. That way, we could all split the reward, you would be free, and we wouldn't be in trouble with the law.
That's pretty clever.
No one has to die that way.
Carter looks between Bonesaw, Moz, Myra, and Jasper, and says, "What say all you?" Hodges at this point, Carter clocked him on the head, and Avery's like standing about a foot back.
There is still the issue that Hodges is gonna have us all arrested regardless, because we done fucked up his ears.
Actually, that was self-inflicted.
We might be able to convince them that he was under the curse of the gun and not really in his right mind, and we had to do what we had to do to protect ourselves. They needed this prisoner there. The thing we have to keep in mind is we can't go pissing off the railroad too much, because we need to get Myra's memory back. And if we go and kill all the Pinkertons and steal all their money, I think the railroad will be less inclined to talk with us.
I like that accord, if all 4 of you are on board.
Carter's not walking out here a free man. He pays for his crimes. Today or tomorrow.
Is that frog law, Mozzie, or just your opinion?
Why, can it be both, dear Bones?
I am just wondering if you consulted with the sheriff.
I consulted plenty with the sheriff, thank you very much. Now why don't you consult with me, Bones?
Moz, you're about one little push away from dying. And I would love to heal you up, but I am concerned that I won't get a chance if we have to fight it out with this fellow. Can't he face his crimes another day? At someone else's hands? Does it have to be now? Does it have to be us? Perhaps once he's gone, you can drop a little tip. The local sheriff. Lots of ways this could go.
There's only one sheriff, and he wants vengeance.
Damn it.
What you got in mind there, Maz?
As he says this, Maz, sitting in the creek, completely exhausted after being stabbed with moss and a bunch of other nasty attacks, falls over unconscious.
Let's call that a soft maybe. Soft maybe from Moz. What do you say?
He looks at Myra.
Damn it. Myra's just gonna go along with this. Because again, she just doesn't want to get hurt, and Carter is now dangerous. But she's for the idea. She kind of looks at Bonesaw and says, Bonesaw, I think that's probably going to be the closest thing we got to getting out of this relatively unscathed.
Bonesaw plan's the best plan.
If we manage to convince Avery not to absolutely tan our hides, if we manage to convince them that we were absolutely, totally, 100% not at all trying to let Carter escape.
Carter slaps Hodges again with the butt of his gun. Continue.
And if we convince the railroad, so if we can't get rid of the Pinkertons, because if we get rid of the Pinkertons, that'll piss off the railroad. If we rob the railroad, we'll also piss off the railroad. So if we do those things, we have to be very much not recognizable, not ourselves.
While she's giving that speech, Jasper has an action he would like to perform, and he is going to say, if you hold off shooting there for a moment, Carter, I'd like to eliminate a variable from this equation. 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump off the horse, scoop up the gun in the saddlebag.
There you go.
Now hold on.
There you go.
You're touching the gun.
I'm trying not to touch the gun directly. That's why I said scoop it up in the saddlebag. I'd like to scoop it up with something that is not picking up the gun, because I've seen what happens when somebody picks up that gun. If necessary, I'll do it in my hat.
What's your dexterity?
16.
Okay. If you had a dexterity below 15, I was going to make you make a check. But at 16, I will say that you are skilled enough. You now also have a saddlebag filled with water, but the gun is now in the saddlebag.
Okay. All right, and it's casting a spell to put him into his box. I can't do that the same round. So that's where it stands right now.
This seems the best way to me. Jasper gets information about his gang. Myra potentially gets her memory back because we're on the right side with the railroad. Carter doesn't shoot us right now. Avery is appeased for the moment. Mars can't object at the moment either.
Shit, I think that's the best we got.
I'll go along with it for now.
Carter smiles and says, I think we have an accord. And he leans forward as if he's getting ready to shoot you, but you see his hand is off the trigger and kind of off the gun a little bit, just in time for Avery to lunge at him, and oops, he dropped the gun.
Clever.
Don't let Avery shoot him.
Avery's going for the gun, by the way, like immediately.
Okay, we converge on that location, separate them, bind them.
Yes.
Regain control.
Carter laughs as he says, I like when people are reasonable to not dying. He goes back towards his laying down spot, whistling to himself, singing, gonna hang me in the morning before the night is done. Gonna hang me in the morning, I'll never see the sun.
Dust and Blood is a Rolling Path production featuring Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Blake Alfson as our GM, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, and myself, Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Our theme song is Dust and Blood by Arne Parrott, and other music throughout this recording is provided by Kevin Macleod, Tabletop Audio, Dark Fantasy Studios, and the Desperados 3 original game soundtrack by Filippo Beck Peccoz. Transcripts, detailed sound credits, and more can be found on our website at dustandbloodpod.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Dust and Blood Pod, or support us through our Patreon at Dust and Blood, where you can join our community Discord and get perks like our behind-the-scenes discussion show, The Roundup. Thank you so much to our very supportive fans, people like Saru, Haas, 50 Sloths of Grey, and Lego Queen BB. Currently available are all 7 episodes of our opening arc, as well as some bonus content to showcase our Patreon rewards. Check out The Bank Job, a Same Universe one-off played with the Never Tell Me the Odds system by David Somerville, and our first Roundup episode, where we answer listener questions about the show. Content warnings can be found in every episode description, and we hope you enjoy exploring this fantasy western with us. Thanks for listening.
Shoot open to the early morning sun. I feel that aching, pounding, poking of a bullet in my lungs. Skinny ceiling, bones crunching. I feel that wretched ancient something drag me up to face that coward son of a gun. His His face grows wide as he fumbles for his holster. I feel the lead pierce my shoulder, neck, and chest. I scream that I have died 100 times and lived 1,000 years, and I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best. Yes, I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best.
I take no responsibility if we're attacked in the middle of the night by a trigger-happy horse.
I can make lesser restoration, but I was gonna give it to Myra for her exhaustion.
I can also just sleep. I mean, also fuck Avery.
Does he really need his eardrums?
Does he really need his eardrums? I'm really starting to feel bad for this guy.
I'm kind of wondering why we picked him over the other guy in the
Why
first
did we
place.
pick him?
Somebody thought it'd be more entertaining, I think.